Nearly there.
Hey,
Nicola Adele, did you just get here?
yeah, somehow. The assemblies always make me sleepy, but today's been especially rough.
So I've heard. Thank you for helping to protect the town. It must have taken a lot out of you.
And then some. No time to refuel either, so I'm running on fumes, but I can probably sit through a meeting without falling asleep. I'm surprised to see you here, though. I thought you'd be at the meeting already.
As did I. I was dealing with some missing items. I would have liked to do a thorough search, but it'll have to be put on hold for now.
Uh-huh. Well, the sooner we get this over with, the better. Hey, how's it going? Do you mind if we pass?
You know, I've always thought you two get along. Or at least, it looks that way to me.
He's a decent golem. Definitely easier to understand than beings of flesh and blood.
He certainly has a very gentle gaze.
Cetus Law, Marshal of the Order of Blade Rights. Nicola Adele, Acting Praetor of Escamali. You are most welcome.
We've come for the assembly. Is Eleanor here?
She's been eagerly awaiting your arrival. If you will follow me, I'll take you to the meeting room. I should also inform you that we mages have received an urgent summons ourselves, so we won't be available during the meeting.
Huh. So in other words, it'll just be the three of us.
We're sorry for the inconvenience. This way.
What do you think, Cetus?
I'm impressed. As flighty as she can get when she's focusing on her research, she does care for those under her command. She probably doesn't want them getting caught up in our discussions. The mages here are like her disciples and her family. It's a kindness she only shows those close to her.
The kindness of mages, huh?
Finally, you've arrived. I was starting to think I'd have to send out a search party.
We'd have gotten here on time if the assembly was at Escamali as usual, but seeing as how it's less of a temple and more of a business hub now...
Blade Rights headquarters isn't built for discussing private matters either. We appreciate you lending your hull to us.
You're sounding more like a politician every day, Cetus. I call this meeting to order. Together, we'll chart a course to a brighter future for Isunia.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just here for the meeting. There's a lot I want to discuss with you. I'm glad I made it in time. I thought I took care of all the golems. Be a good pile of clay and disappear.
You? Get out of here.
I'm glad to see that you're safe, Captain. Does your squad know?
Thanks to you, they do. I ran into a messenger at the border. But no matter, everything's falling into place. Once I collect your heads, I'll cash in on my bounty and disappear. Then it's the start of a new life over the border for me.
Is that what passes for a self-introduction among traders? Disappointing, but unsurprising. It isn't uncommon for loyalties to waver in the aftermath of a conflict, and Isunia is still vulnerable while it's rebuilding. I applaud your strength, which is considerable enough to defeat my gatekeepers. However, surely you don't think that will be enough to take on 3 guild leaders.
Cute. Surely you don't think I'd come here without a plan.
Nicola!
The There isn't a soul in Asunia who doesn't know how weak you are without your ore, Nicola. You didn't even think to hide that vulnerability. I have to say, it's been fun watching you play at balancing scales. Poor you. Considering how busy you've been stamping out fires, you've had zero time to eat. But even if you had stopped at Escamale, you would have found your ore supply depleted.
How vexing. It's almost like he's saying we're nothing compared to Nicola. What's that doing here?
Ah, Eleanor Gloria. Thanks for unleashing this deluge of magical life forms. They've been very helpful. The theme of this assembly was tidying up, wasn't it? You've been siphoning the magical residue that's been sullying the canals and turning them into life forms.
So, you've been spying on me. An unmannered thief and a creep. You're not very knightly at all.
I know most of the life forms are harmless. A good sneeze could wipe them out. But this one's different. It may be made of junk magic used to rebuild Asunia, but when you gather all those bits of stray mana together, well, even your magic would have a hard time penetrating it, Eleanor. And like a duckling, this precious pet listens to the first being with a large mana signature it touches. I bet you never imagined your failsafe would come back to bite you.
A large mana signature, powerful enough to stand against even Eleanor's.
Oh, surely you're aware by now, Marshal. It's so obvious. These blades are no good to anyone. Locked away.
The dual blades of Asunia, the most powerful weapons and magical artifacts in this land. So that's where your certainty comes from. You've collected every source of power you could get your hands on.
Amazing, aren't they? Even sheathed, they ooze raw power. Just thinking of them unleashed makes me shiver.
So, it was power you wanted, but it swallowed you whole in the process.
Oh, don't be like that, Marshal. The only good weapon is the kind you can use. I never understood how you could let the blades of truth and lies just go to waste.
Those blades place a great burden on their wielder. Do you know what that means?
Oh, but I do. Better than you, I'd wager. A sheathed sword is nothing more than a stick. And who's ever going to be afraid of a measly twig? But I was made an offer I can't refuse. These swords will have plenty of opportunity to fulfill their potential. My new compatriots have got a list of enemies a mile long, and I'm itching for some action. The mediocre officer is no more. Today, I will become a hero.
Captain, as a fellow comrade who once sought the ideals of justice, I'm warning, nay, advising you. Put down those blades. They will not make a hero of you.
Your bark is bigger than your bite, beast. You don't get it, do you? Your heads are ripe for the taking. You've no idea how much I've wanted this, how long I've been waiting, and now the time has finally come. Blades of truth and lies, mage-slaying life form. We've whet our appetites on small fry long enough. Now's the time for the main dish. What better way to clean up Asunia than to sweep your heads off your necks? Die and become the stepping stones for my glory. What?
You said you destroyed the ore stockpile, which means you hurt the Escamali acolytes. That makes it my job to balance the scales, just as Marlon would have done.
Wait, hold up. How are you even moving, much less fighting? You're supposed to be running on empty. No, that can't be.
Sorry, Eleanor. I might have taken a bite out of that rock. I hope you didn't need it for anything big.
You can do whatever you like with it, Nicola Adele. I got that little tea time snack just for you. If you were inclined to more organic repasts, I would have prepared the finest tea and cake. But a gracious host accommodates their guests, and what better treat than a premium-grade mana stone packed with energy? Well, are your taste buds weeping with joy?
Seeing as I don't have taste buds, I wouldn't know. But it did hit the spot. I feel like I could go a few hundred rounds now. Thanks. And I'd be an awful guest if I didn't repay your kindness. Leave this to me. Cycle as does life. Bite as does the serpent. Reversal of providence, the bond's inner workings. Not am I now, but the miracle's reversal.
What? No, no! My precious life form!
Analysis complete. Just as I theorized, this life form is a magical amalgamation that neutralizes mana without compromising its own structural integrity. An impossible feat if not for a little extra-dimensional help. With that confirmed, I'm now entirely assured of my victory.
You heard her, Captain. Sheer firepower alone won't win the day, but teamwork will always prevail. It's something we learned as cadets. Or have you forgotten?
Impossible. This isn't some comic book where friendship and effort win the day. You should be on your knees begging for your pitiful lives. Why aren't you surrendering?
Oh, spare me your theatrics. If you have time to whine, then maybe you should fill that empty head with some actual knowledge. Anyone could have predicted this outcome.
Huh?
An agent from Counter Solari gave me a detailed report, you see. It spoke of a plot to steal certain artifacts and an assassination attempt at the next guild assembly.
Your team was conveniently put in charge of guarding Blade Right's HQ. You happened to hear about a life form that could neutralize magic. And Nicola, conceivably the biggest obstacle to your plan, was conveniently running low on fuel. We figured these factors would create the ideal conditions for someone as cowardly and avaricious as you to move. And you played right into our hands, like a consummate stereotype.
And just FYI, but those compatriots you were going to meet up with at the border, they're long gone. Aren't they, Cetus?
Yes. Counter Solari timed it so that they would chase off our dear captain's co-conspirators the moment he set foot into the assembly. They've long escaped over the border by now. Isunia isn't in a position to do more than that right now. All we can do is clean up the messes we have in our own home.
Shut up! Shut up! Do you really think you've won? Have you forgotten that I have the swords? I'll kill you all. Just one swing and you'll be a pile of corpses. The power of the hero resides in these blades. What the? Why isn't it working? Why aren't you dead?
I told you those swords are a heavy burden. I asked if you knew what bearing them meant. The blade of truth and the blade of lies. Neither of them can be wielded by just anyone. A wielder with single-minded purpose can reshape or destroy worlds with one swing. However, those unwilling to sacrifice everything for their cause can't even unsheath the blade. Instead, the blade consumes them.
No! 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 I can't! It isn't supposed to go like this! I'm sorry! I take it back! Marshal, please, have mercy!
Good. I'm glad you've seen the light. No one should aspire to be a hero, especially not at the price of their own humanity.
That was unexpected. I didn't think you'd stop at just knocking him out. Is this where your justice has led you, Marshal of the Order of Blade Rights?
Justice is far more nuanced than punishing the wicked. It's true that he must answer for his deeds, but at least some of the cause for his discontent lies with me. I will not be his executioner, but I can take responsibility for his actions and use this experience to build the future we all seek. That is my duty as Marshal.
That's fine with me. He did look like he was rethinking his priorities toward the end there. He isn't a total lost cause. And besides, we've gained something from the skirmish too. The townspeople worked together to deal with the magical life forms. They were also able to take a breather from the strain of rebuilding and work out their frustrations.
Precisely. It also solved Magus' junk mana problem, and I was able to extract ample data from the life forms. This wouldn't have been possible in the old Isunia. Not to mention, we were able to haul in a pretty big catch this fishing expedition. It all worked out in the end.
Nicola, Eleanor.
If anything else goes down, give me a holler. I'll be here as a comrade. And as your friend.
And should you ever require the magic and knowledge of our covenant, you need only say the word. I'll be very piqued if you deprive me of any future research opportunities.
You have my word. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm blessed to have such comrades at my side.
Yes, we'll have time for emotional outbursts later. Let's get this meeting started for real this time, shall we? I officially open this session of the Guild Assembly. May we brighten the future of our fair Isunia through cooperation.
When war engulfed Isunia, the false peace that had held the land together crumbled to ash. Many things were lost that day. Irreplaceable memories and loved ones perished. Our wounds are still raw. In spite of all that, Isunia is trying to move forward and achieve true peace.
Then it's settled. The next order of business is rebuilding the waterways.
Not that I disagree with you, but it looks like me and Titus got assigned a lot of the heavy lifting in this plan of yours.
I merely proposed a division of labor catering to your strengths, namely manual labor or other miscellaneous tasks. You should be thanking me for taking the time out of my busy schedule to coordinate everything.
I expect nothing less from the brightest mind in Isunia.
Oh boy.
The clear waters of Isunia lap gently over us all, cleansing our wounded bodies and souls. The world will keep turning. We survived, and now we will thrive. Hand in hand, we will walk toward the future. Each of us is a drop of shimmering dew. Together, we are the canals, the lifeblood that thrums throughout Isunia.